try to be honest and keep it modest, but the longer that I live, it's becoming a harder process. I'm famous and so gone. My favorite's the slow songs. Cause niggas feel like heartbreak, but they finish it so strong. In my own lane, but I'm straight with that fine line. The top my destination, high stepping like prime time. My women, they get better with age, and I like fine wine. Had a couple crazies, that's worse than a ticking time bomb. I be in meetings and random numbers be calling me. She be like, my friend used to talk to you. You stalking me, that's why I deal with people that's cut from the same cloth as me. Put that phone down and I'm asking, like, what that offer be? Keep that money coming, bruh. Get it here on time. Stay away from suckers that be hating from behind. Lot of baby dames in the streets dropping dimes. If that winning but your head, learn to read between the lines. Hey.
What's up, 2K fans? It's your boy Lethal back with more 2K action. Today's game, I got Seattle SuperSonics versus Portland Trailblazers. This gameplay, I'm going to go ahead and get right into the lineups and everything. Alright, I'm using Seattle. As you see, they missed a layup and get a bucket to go by Dame. But I'm using Seattle. Point guard, Gary Payton. He's a playmaker, lockdown defender. Hersey Hawkins, defender, sharpshooter. Detlef Shrimp, sharpshooter. Sam Perkins, stretch four. And Shaq Kemp is just an athletic miracle. All right, he's going to play center for me. And to be honest with y'all, if y'all was to ask anybody that was born before 2002, if you ask who the better player was between Gary Payton and Damian Lillard, most people say Gary Payton. Because, that was the time. That's what they got a chance to see play. If you ask anybody that was born after 2002, they'll tell you Damian Lillard. The guy that they currently see playing now. The thing I'm saying is, it doesn't really matter who you believe is a better player. It just is a matter which team you think has a better chance of winning the game. Like I said, in today's NBA, defense is not really that big of a priority, which is why they say you can't win without the three ball. Well, that's not true. If you look at teams like the Lakers, teams like the Knicks, they don't hit a lot of threes. They are some of the worst three-point shooting teams, but yet they are teams that's in the playoffs. They win because they play defense and they play a hard-nosed style of basketball. You still can get away with playing that way in the NBA. They tell you if you don't have a jump shot, you don't have a chance. That's simply not true. All right, they pretty much make it seem like if you can't shoot the ball, you have to be a center who can settle out of screens with great rim protection. Basically, like Rudy Gobert works, but Steven Adams and Andre Drummond don't. Why? Because they don't block shots at a high enough rate. But somebody like Clint Capella, he would be good in today's NBA, and that's just simply not true. As long as you have a skill that you can utilize, you'll be just fine. It's just up to the coaching to put you in the best position for you to succeed. Otherwise, what are you really doing out there? In today's game, I'm using Seattle, and to be honest with you, I feel like the team I have is a way better team than the one I'm playing against. If you know anything about the Portland Trailblazers, yes, they got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and Carmelo, Robert Covington, Nurse. They have a bunch of scoring. But they don't play any defense. Their game plan is to simply outscore you. I never looked at basketball in the game of trying to outscore somebody because, what if me on the offensive side of the ball, what if I can't get it going? What if the jump shots are just not falling? You have to be able to do other things to keep yourself in the game. So in this particular game, yeah, you got to knock down shots, which is why, I have 4 shooters on the floor. But the reason why I tell you that this team, if they was playing today, would probably be one of the best teams is because they got everything that this style of NBA is about. They got 4 shooters, and they got a big man who's extremely athletic and can get away with doing more than just setting screens and roll it to the rim. Like, it's a guy that can pretty much take it off a dribble. Like, I guess a good comparison for Sean Kemp would be Bam Adebayo. You know, it's a guy who can do a lot more than just dunk the basketball. He can rebound. You know, since he's athletic, he can contest a lot of shots, and because he's a big body, he can set screens, roll. He can shoot a mid-range jump shot. He'd be highly effective at center in today's NBA. Gary Payton, what he allows me to do to Dame Lillard this game, which, you know, don't pay attention to the second quarter. The second quarter, Dame is going to do his thing. But if you notice when Gary Payton was in the game guarding him, Damian Lillard had a tough time trying to score the basketball. And the reason is Gary Payton's perimeter defense allows me to body him up and force him into tougher shots and keep him from getting to the rim. All right, so this is probably the style I like best when I'm trying to play 2K. So even if I'm playing Team Pro-Am or something, 4 shooters. And right now, because I can shoot the ball, you know, it should be 5 shooters on the floor so we can play 5 out. But if not, 4 shooters is enough. But the big man has to be really, really smart and really, really active defensively. When I used to use my 6'9" two-way point forward, if you watched me before, you'll notice even though I couldn't necessarily shoot threes consistently, I would take them here and there, but I couldn't shoot them consistently because my rating was too low. I rebound, defend, block shots, got people involved, and I scored offensively by getting to the rim or knocking down a mid-range jump shot. I literally did everything else besides knock down threes, which is why my team had success. Now, if I was just out there and I didn't do a lot of those other things, the team wouldn't have been as good. And that just is what it is. And kind of even now, if you look at the team, even though I'm at point guard and I'm able to do more offensively, I still find myself doing all those other things, like rebounding, trying to guard the other team's best player, you know, being in perfect position to help defensively, get my team involved offensively, knocking down shots now. So, like, the role for me as a 2K player hasn't changed that much, and I'm hoping my teammates can start watching some of these videos and do one or two things. One, start playing more of this style of 2K, because if you can play this, it'll just make you that much better of a one-on-one 2K player. Pretty much like a my player thing. That's what I mean. Like, if you can play this style, where you got to control 5 people and come up with a game plan, then I feel like you'll be successful when you only have to be one person and just fit into a system. Alright? But if you go out there and play this mode and you can't play it, like, I don't mean just playing in a rookie league where you don't play against no competition. I mean, try to grind the ladder, see how far you can get before you just steadily in the same rotation of group. You know? At least get to about, I want to say the D-League level or G-League level or whatever it is. The development league. Yeah, to get to the development level of this, and then see how you do. You know, what teams are you picking? Are you picking the same team every time? If so, if you ever want to run your own team, you should know how you want to run it. You know, me, I constantly am trying to pick different teams from current NBA to other eras, different things like that, just showing my knowledge of the game. But my game plan never changes. So for me, the results should not be that different. No, I'm not going to win every game, but I'm going to win majority. And that's the goal, just to get out here and show y'all that y'all can win majority of the games. And then take that style, apply it to a 2K team, and see where we get. Right now, we're not playing too much as a team. This is why I've been playing this mode. And I'm fine with that. You know, I'm kind of at peace with the fact that this year is just kind of a wash as far as the 2K team thing goes. Come back strong at it again next 2K. Hopefully things will go a little bit better. But hopefully I can get teammates that, you know, can hear what I'm saying, watch the videos, and try to get better. Now that I got all that big rant out the way, as we kind of get into the second quarter, you'll notice that the second quarter, Dame Lillard, like I said, he starts to go off. which is fine. I mean, I gotta put my bench in. I like to give my starters a bit of a rest. But the big thing for me is, like, you have to be able to see how the game is going from the first quarter. So the good rule of thumb here, if you made it this far in the video, is in the first quarter, right? If you win that quarter, how comfortable did you win that quarter? All right? If you won it pretty convincingly or you feel good about it, that's typically the way the game is going to go the rest of the game. So if you played the first quarter and, like, let's say you start off down 10-0, but you start to make a little bit of a comeback, and by the end of the quarter it's like 20-15, but you feel good about the adjustment you made in the first quarter, typically second, third, and fourth quarter are going to kind of follow that same trend. So, like, if you was down and you found something to start working defensively, which you notice in the second quarter, score get closer. By the third quarter, probably a tie ball game where you took the lead, and by the fourth quarter, you should be able to edge them out and win the game. Now, let's say the first quarter's neck and neck, you're not necessarily comfortable, but you're not necessarily sweating. Cool. You get to the second quarter, it's going to be whose best player is going to make the biggest impact. All right? So for me, I actually felt pretty comfortable at the end of the first quarter of this game. I felt pretty good having Gary Payton on Damian Lillard, so I wasn't really too worried about this guy's offense. Not saying he's not a good player or nothing like that. I just wasn't as worried because I like the way my point guard played defense. All right, games I'm typically worried about is when I'm playing, but, like, nothing I'm doing is working. The defense ain't doing what I want it to do. It's not playing. They're not playing hard. They're not hustling. But this particular game, I was comfortable. You know, he gets a wide open jump shot here. He's gonna miss it. And I felt like throughout the first and second quarter, as I'm gonna come away with the lead at the end of the second half. Of the first half. I liked how we played. I liked how we looked against the Stars. So on my team, me, RDH Hawk, T Will, we're the Stars, all right? Until somebody else steps up and takes those guys' spot, you know, even though they'd probably always be the co-captain, but until somebody can outplay those two, us three is going to be the star players of the team, so everybody else has to do their role to make things work. So if you look at it from that standpoint, you'll say I'm the Gary Payton. RDH Hawk would be more the Hersey Hawkins, and T Will would be the Sean Kemp. So Deadlift Tripp and Sam Perkins, these are two guys that are out there to space out the floor and shoot the ball. All they have to do is their role. If they can sit out there and knock down open shots, the rest of us can pretty much take care of the rest. Now, you do have to play some type of defense, but it shouldn't be to the point where, you know, it should be overly aggressive because, like I said, me, T-Will, and RDH Hawk, we're already taking on the toughest responsibilities. What I find a lot of times with these other teams is that they're picking on the players on our team who can't necessarily hold their own on that side of the ball. You know, everybody that plays with me can always shoot, and I always encourage them, like, yo, if we playing 3v3 or 2v2 or whatever, you got to feel like you can score all the points. That's the only way this works. So playing with me, you have to play aggressive offensively. So I'm never really too worried about offense. But defensively, that's a different story. It's very hard to guard people one-on-one. All right? I tell my team all the time, don't put me in a situation to have to play one-on-one defense. Because if I have to do that, the defense as a whole is going to suffer. What I mean by playing one-on-one defense, I kind of show it right here. I can show it on this possession. So right here, run up to the shooter. You see him, we got a little bit of space. Get in his face, make it difficult. All right? If you see something open, even if it ain't your man, flinch at it, show at it, do something. Be a help defender. Don't just sit back and watch somebody get cooked. If you see somebody get an ankle breaker animation, don't just sit there and let the man take a wide open jump shot. If you close or in the vicinity, run at him, you know, bait him, try to get him to make a pass and run back to your man. But At no point in time should you ever play one-on-one. So if you see me play here, look how I show with the big man, giving time for the shooting guard to recover, and we're fine. I'm going to do it again. Watch. He beats me around. I switch with the big man to show and force him to pass the ball. So now they got to hold the ball again. When you get them doing that, you can come up with steals, get out on the break, and finish. You know, you see how that works? It's not rocket science. Like, you know, if I'm playing defense, look at me. I go to the next person and try to get that steal. Again, I'm going to come here, he sets the screen. I try to get over the screen because I can. You know, when it comes to playing switch everything, the goal is to not let people switch. All right, so the goal is if you can get through something, get through it. But you should never be fighting hard to get through something. You feel me? You see right there coming up with the big block. That's another stop defensively. You get out on the break, get a chance to run. You find an open shooter, just got to knock down the shot. You know, I can point this out all games. So you see right here, he gets it, boom. I try to get up in his face. Soon as he beats my man, I step up and try to contest. Now, I didn't force a miss there, but that's what I mean. Never play one-on-one defense. You know, the next person should be ready and willing to help. This was a huge third quarter by me. Like I said, at this point, I gave a chance for my starters to rest right here. You know, I bring Gary Payton back into the ball game, but I know at the start of the fourth quarter, I kind of gave my team a chance, gave them a break. Right now, you see Sean Kemp on the bench. The reason for that is off the bench right now, I do need some type of scoring because I want to get my starters out to get a little bit of rest heading into the fourth quarter. So right now, Sean Kemp is going to be that player. I have 4 offensive people out there right now, so it gives time for Ernie Johnson, who's not a good center, but you know, at the same time, it gives time for somebody who can do something with the ball, a rest, as we head into the fourth quarter. And as you see, throughout all these quarters, I've just been edging out the score a little bit more at a time. Right there, I jumped all the way out there to force the miss, but when I did that, I took my rebounder away. I'd rather give up that 2 than a 3 any day of the week, though. Right here, blocking foul on Simons. And here it is. Right here, you see Sean Kemp in. He's the only starter I have on the floor, and this is pretty much where I'm going to get my offense from as I'm giving my, shooters a chance to rest real quick. Because in the fourth quarter, I know I'm going to need them. As you see right here, I'm pressing up. Great defense by me, staying in front of them, getting that back out on the break, put the ball back into a good player's hands, and letting them do something with it. All right? I ain't saying that wasn't a bullshit bucket, but that's how you play ball. That's why I said if this team played today, it would be one of the top teams. It's very hard to stop a team who can shoot with a very mobile big man. It's just very hard to stop it. That's how most teams play today. Starting off the fourth quarter, and this is going to be a really quick fourth quarter. Like I said, again, I want to play through my stars, so I get the ball to Kemp, and I'm going to let them go to work. I'm only going to let them get so many minutes right now, though, before I bring all my starters back in. But I'm putting the ball in my best player's hands. Not really caring about the double team or anything like that. Right here, this is just a bad possession. I made something happen anyway, but it's just a bad possession. Big offensive rebound, though. Fortunately, I got called for a charge. I was about to go back up and dunk it, but that just gave enough time for me to go ahead and put my starters back in so I can end this ball game. I just got to keep Damian Lillard at bay. Big steal by Kemp, and now you see Kemp on the break. I'm going to pick up another charge here, but, that was just enough of a spark to get those star players back into the game. And now we can go ahead and end it. All right, like I said, I like the way Gary Payton has been guarding Damian Lillard all game. And even though he has 20 points, he's not shooting better than my star, which is Sean Kemp at the time. Right there, big play by Gary Payton, getting into the lane. And that pretty much is going to do it, man. Like, this is another big game by me. I hope you guys have been enjoying this content. Even if you don't want to listen to me, I hope y'all been enjoying the gameplay. But all I'm saying is, when you play defense, people want to quit. And that's going to do it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.